effectively the Herald Sun take your people to task over, they say, their failings to properly kickstart this investigation over the weekend. What did or didn't happen?
Look, John, my advice is that on Saturday morning when this was reported that the local detectives were advised. I'm also advised that the homicide squad was advised on Saturday and were overseeing the investigation.
What, meaning they were doing what?
Well, they were being constantly briefed about the situation, and when the homicide squad would make a determination when there was an indication of foul play that they would take the investigation over.
But they didn't do so until Monday morning?
No, but the local detectives did, John, and that's part of their role.
Local detectives did what?
Well, they conducted quite an extensive search of the area, as you've already heard. They spoke to a number of people, and they carried out an investigation as I would expect them to do, and as they're required to do by policy. So,
did they miss the handbag?
Well, John, that's interesting, isn't it? That there was an extensive search carried out of the area.
By how many people?
I can't tell you that, but it was quite extensive. I can't tell you whether they missed that handbag or not, but.
Why weren't bank accounts checked over the weekend? Why weren't phone records checked over the weekend?
They were, John, and my advice is that the information contained in the Herald Sun editorial is not quite right, that we did speak to the NAB on the weekend, that we did conduct those checks. The NAB were very, very helpful. The same checks were again conducted yesterday, and they'll be ongoing. So
then why were police saying that they were... Myself, in my own reports yesterday, speaking to, first of all, the Brunswick Police and then the homicide squad, they said they would be checking banking records. So they didn't say they'd already done it.
So, John, I've spoken to the head of the homicide squad this morning, who advised me those checks were actually done on the weekend, those initial checks. So
is it a matter of police... strategic withholding of information, not to let us know that that's been done?
Look, I'm not sure that's the case. It's a matter, of course, for homicide squad to do these sort of things when we have a missing person, to try and understand whether, in fact, the person is missing by choice or missing by misadventure. So,
and I understand sometimes you don't want suspects or the public to know everything that you know, because that's part of...
Yeah, and look, I'm sure that's part of this investigation as well. There's things that we need to hold back to help us progress our investigation. But I am advised there was an extensive search on the weekend that did not find that handbag. That handbag's turned up on the Monday. So either police have missed that or someone has placed the bag back at that location. So we'll just work our way through that carefully and make sure we understand exactly what happened. But equally that inquiries were made of the bank and phone records on the weekend to help us understand whether this was a missing person by choice or missing person by misadventure.
How many people go missing every week in Victoria?
Well, I guess it's hard to say, John. I don't have the exact numbers of people reported missing, but
there'd be lots.
There'd be a number that do it by choice, though, and there'd be some that just do it because they don't keep in touch with their family, and obviously there's some that disappear through more nefarious means, but they're very rare. They're very rare.
All the more reason, given how rare this type of disappearance is, to treat it perhaps with a little more seriousness than we're getting the impression it was treated with at first instance.
Look, I've had the occasion to look back on this investigation, get advice how this was carried out, and I'm more than satisfied that our members treated it seriously. There was a good response on the Saturday, there was a good response on the Sunday, and we've put the resources at it to try and resolve this. This is a difficult case.
Now there are reports on the Facebook page of other women reporting incidents of violence, threatened violence or apprehended violence in the same area in recent weeks as well? Have you got a problem in Brunswick?
Again, the investigators are looking at that at the moment. My understanding, there was 3 or 4 incidents reported on Facebook. We've gone back through our records. None of those have actually been reported to police. We're tracking those people down over the next day or so to talk to them and understand exactly what happened. What I would say to people, though, if they've been faced with these circumstances, they need to let us know on Crime Stoppers, 1800 333 000. This helps us put together a picture of exactly what's happening in the area. But again, I say those matters haven't been reported to us, so we just need to work our way through and understand exactly what happened in those 3 or 4 cases.
As I say, it's a ghastly situation that we find ourselves in, and one where suddenly you think about the nature of crime and the nature of police investigations in a completely different context to one that I've ever encountered before.
Well, John, it's interesting coming into the ABC this morning. There's you can it's almost palpable, the feeling in the building about the sense of grief and the sense of loss from what is generally a pretty dynamic and lively environment. So I understand it's making it very, very difficult for you in the office.
35,000 people reported missing every year across Australia, so there's that figure there. Yep.